Existence feels permanent, stable, and unstoppable. Everything around us follows rules, moves with purpose, and continues forward in time. But what if there comes a moment when existence itself finally gives up? Not in a dramatic explosion, but as a quiet failure where reality can no longer sustain itself, and everything that once held together begins to lose its ability to continue. The universe operates through fundamental laws that create structure and order. Gravity binds galaxies, electromagnetism holds atoms together, and quantum forces govern particles. These laws are not optional, they are the foundation of everything. If they begin to weaken or fail, existence itself starts to lose stability. One possible cause of this failure is vacuum instability. The universe may exist in a fragile, metastable state. If it transitions to a lower energy state, the laws of physics could instantly change, rewriting reality itself in a way that makes current structures impossible. This transition would begin in a small region, forming a bubble of new reality. Expanding at the speed of light, it would replace everything it touches. Inside it, the rules of physics would no longer support matter as we know it. Atoms would not survive this change. The forces that hold electrons and nuclei together could fail, causing matter to dissolve instantly. There would be no gradual breakdown, only an immediate loss of all structure. From an observer's perspective, this event would be impossible to detect in advance. No signal can travel faster than light, meaning there would be no warning. One moment everything is normal, and the next moment existence has already changed. Another possibility involves the gradual weakening of forces over time. If the strength of fundamental interactions decreases, structures would begin to fall apart slowly, leading to a long process where existence fades rather than breaks. Galaxies would be the first to lose cohesion. Gravity would no longer be strong enough to hold them together, and stars would drift away into empty space, leaving behind scattered remnants. Star systems would collapse next. Planets would lose their orbits, drifting away from their stars. Worlds would become isolated, moving endlessly through darkness without connection. At smaller scales, molecules would begin to break apart. Chemical bonds depend on electromagnetic forces, and if those weaken, complex matter cannot remain stable. Atoms would follow. Without strong forces, electrons could no longer remain bound to nuclei. Matter itself would dissolve into free particles, losing all recognizable form. At the deepest level, particles might lose their ability to interact. Without stable forces, they would drift independently, unable to form any structure or pattern. Time itself would begin to lose meaning. Without interactions and change, there would be nothing to measure its passage. The universe would continue to exist, but without events, light would still travel. But without interaction, it would become meaningless. Photons would move endlessly without ever being absorbed or observed. Black holes, once the strongest structures, would eventually evaporate. Through Hawking radiation, they would slowly disappear, removing one of the last remaining concentrations of energy. After that, the universe would approach near total emptiness. Only low-energy particles and radiation would remain, spread across an ever-expanding void. Some theories suggest that even these particles may not last forever. Over immense timescales, they could decay, leaving behind an even simpler state of existence. Quantum fluctuations might still occur, briefly creating particles from energy. However, these events would be rare and temporary, unable to restore structure. At this stage, existence has not ended, but it has effectively given up. There is no structure, no interaction, and no change. Everything that once defined reality has faded. What happens when existence finally gives up is not a dramatic ending, but a silent one. A universe that continues without purpose, without connection, and without the ability to create anything new, existing only as a faint trace of what once was.